Since ever, food has always been a moment of conviviality, sharing, communication. Food has always been able to draw people closer. In this moment where social, economic, or even gender convention just cease to exist. It's not about putting something in your stomach as per se, but food becomes a moment where you can converse with another person, to build a community, and to create a connection between ethnicities. It really becomes a total experience. When I usually pick a destination to travel or to explore, one of the first things that come to my mind is, thanks even the fact that I'm kind of a foodie, I love food, is thinking about the new and delicious and even weird dishes that I'm going to try. Because what's better than exploring a new destination, a new custom, a new culture through its food? The culinary experience is the one that makes you use all your senses and stimulate them, going from smell, touch, taste, triggering a complete and immersive experience. And when I often found myself where the language barrier becomes an obstacle, I found that food becomes the gateway to it. So one of the things that I always try to do when I travel to new places is to eat local, because that's the best way to really immerse yourself into the culture and just take a glimpse of what other people eat, or what are other people habits. So just like I said before, I love trying new food, even the most bizarre ones. That doesn't even include sometimes some food poisoning, but that's part of the game, isn't it? So I thought to myself, then why do not create my own culinary travel itinerary in the comfort of my own home? Have a glimpse of another nation, try a different food from another nation in the comfort of your own home. And it's a great way to travel not only with your mind but also with your mouth and taste buds. So during this video, what I'm going to do is sharing with you some of my favorite recipes that I tried during my trips. Yeah, this is not a cooking channel by no means, not really an expert, but what I want to do is at least try with my own twist, of course. So I'm just going to work with the ingredients that I have and the ingredients that I was able to buy or to grab to my local grocery shop. And this is not an exact representation of dishes. Maybe encourage you to try this yourself at home. And so yeah, let's go cooking, I guess. One of the places that I love the most is and I can't wait to visit again, is definitely Asia. My first trip to Asia was love at first sight, and it actually even changed the way of eating for me. So with this first dish, we are going to take a trip to Vietnam by making a really Vietnamese street food, which is banh mi, that you can basically eat it at every time of the day. But at breakfast, lunch, dinner, it goes pretty much well with everything. This is not a normal sandwich like it may seem. I actually never tasted something like that before going to Vietnam, and it's really an explosion of taste. It has really pretty much an umami flavor. It's pretty delicious. So I'm going to try to attempt to make one. I already know that it's not going to be like the original one, and also I'm going to do to make a little twist to it by making a more vegetarian, vegan-friendly version of it by using soy meat, but you can actually also use mushroom. And so what is banh mi? Banh mi, like I said before, it's a sandwich that has both Vietnamese and French influence into it, and it's basically a crunchy baguette. That's where the French influence comes from, and usually stuffed with pate, duck pate usually, meat like pork, what else? Crunchy marinated vegetables, aromatic herbs, and on top of that there is a spicy sauce. So let's go try to make one. change, but I can be a little extra sometimes. So anyway, since we're trying a Vietnamese food, then why better way of not wearing a traditional Vietnamese dress? This is actually a Nao Dai. It's called a Nao Dai and it's a traditional Vietnamese dress. You can actually have it handmade in Vietnam, and there are many shops where you can just your own fabric. I think it can also be a novel experience when you are a foreigner and you are wearing a piece of tradition and history of another nation, of another culture. So yeah, that's really amazing, and I pretty much love it. So what better way of not eating a banh mi, wearing a Nao Dai? So yeah, let's try it. Yeah. Okay, I think that you probably already guessed what the next recipe it is. So let's now move on to the busy street snack genre, soup, smell of spices of the street of Medina, which is the ancient city of Marrakesh in Morocco. I actually been in Morocco many years ago, and it was one of the countries that I really fell in love with. That also I can't wait to come back. I actually did like a road trip of Morocco, starting from Marrakesh all around the mountains and then coming back down to the south of Morocco. It was really an amazing trip. Morocco is one of those countries where time seems to have slowed down, and one of the things that I love the most about Morocco is definitely the hospitality of its people. It's something that actually I've never encountered in another country or other nation that I've already visited. Since we are talking about hospitality, what better way if not the typical Moroccan tea? I have here all the ingredients. This is a classical Moroccan teapot. Usually the Moroccan tea it's like the emblem of hospitality in Morocco. You may think, I mean, this is not beverage in Morocco, it's already a pretty hot country, but trust me when I say that this is the most refreshing thing that you can drink. And actually the first time that I've been served the Moroccan tea in the classical Moroccan style, it was from a family that we never encountered before. We were doing a road trip and we stopped. This really nice family saw that we were foreigners, that we were visiting their town, and they didn't even know us, but they invited us in their humble home, and they served us this tea. It was really a magical moment. It was a moment of conviviality, of hospitality, of communication, it was really great. In fact, offering tea in Morocco, it's really like it sounds like a ceremony, and it's their way of showing you a foreigner the fact that you are welcome in their nation, and it's a way of showing you their tradition. It's really a way to say welcome here, welcome to my nation, welcome to my city. They usually serve 3 glasses because the more they stay in infusion, the stronger it gets. And the first glass is gentle as life, the second glass is strong as love, and the third glass is bitter as death. So let's move on to the ingredients that they use for the Moroccan tea. It's usually green tea, usually the Chinese kind of tea style, which is called gunpowder. I don't have that kind of style, so I'm going to use just basic green tea leaves. You can use the one in the bag, sugar, a lot of it, and of course mint. let's continue our culinary travel trip, this time in Spain. I actually been in Spain many times, both in Barcelona and Sevilla, where I actually spent a lot of time. I've studied there. I've also been in Fuerteventura recently. And even though every region and every city has its own dish or its own ingredient or typical beverage, one thing that you can find pretty much everywhere throughout Spain is definitely paella. Paella is like the queen dish of Spain, and it's made with rice, saffron, and a lot of vegetables, seafood, and chicken, and pretty much there are a lot of variation actually of paella, and it's that one dish that you can enjoy it eating by yourself, alone, or sharing it with a lot of friends, because it's usually served in a large pot. And actually a pro tip, if you would like to eat an authentic paella in Spain, is to make sure to eat it in a restaurant where you see that other locals are eating as well. What that's so good about this dish is that it contains so many ingredients, and you really can taste each in the individual ingredients, starting from the seafood, the chicken, the spice of the saffron, pepper, really a lot of stuff, and it's actually also really falling for yourself as well. Well, let's move on to our next and final dishes. Okay, so for our last two destination, actually we are going back from where we started, which means we are going back to Asia, and I'm not going to make these dishes because first of all, I don't have all the ingredients. Second, it's pretty time consuming, and I have no intention whatsoever, to be honest, to spend all that time to making this dish I already tried before. And I mean, I'm not bad at cooking, but it doesn't ever taste as good as it tastes in a restaurant or when it's really professionally made. So I'm going to grab these two dishes at one of my local restaurants. So let's go. Our culinary travel trip throughout the world, where we started, which is Asia, and this time we're going to be together with these two dishes, both China and Japan, two very different countries from each other, with different culture, different tradition, different culinary tastes. Nonetheless, these are two countries that I deeply love. What's fun about this is that I actually haven't been yet to either Japan or China. These are two destinations that are on my bucket list since I can't even remember how long. I can't wait to visit both of this beautiful country. Okay, so let's start first with China. China is one of the most populous nations with an extremely varied territory and an extremely variety of people and cultural heritage throughout all China. It's very south of China. It's very different from the north of China, and each region has its own tradition, its own dialect, its own dishes. I mentioned that the Chinese culinary culture is one of the most ancient and also one of the most healthiest that you can find in the world, on my opinion. So for China, I choose to go with Chinese dumplings now. Dumplings in China, they vary based on the region, and there are so many variety of dumplings. The reason for why I choose dumpling for China is mostly because actually European Chinese restaurant, they don't really make real Chinese cuisine, because they pretty much adapted the flavor and the taste to Western people and to Western societies. And dumplings are usually made during festivity in China, and where the family gather together and they start making these dumplings and then eat it together. So yeah, it's really a moment of, like I said before, of conviviality in sharing. Mm. 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 And now it's the turn of Japan. Japan, I fell in love with Japan since I was very little. I love the tradition and culture of Japan as well. So yeah, this seems very appropriate. And Japan is one of those countries where technology on one side with its modernity, its skyscraper and all of that stuff, and on the other hand, a deep connection with their root and with their tradition, and they both coexist in the same world. In like every aspect of Japanese life, food as well, it embodies a form of art full of ancient traditions. And for Japan, I went with one of the dishes that I love the most. I, not joking, could eat it like almost every day without ever getting sick of it. I enjoy it so much, and of course it's sushi. It's not to say that Japanese cuisine is so much more than just sushi. This in particular is tuna uzumaki, but yeah, like I said, Japanese cuisine, it's so much more than just what we know, that it's pretty much sushi. This attends my current travel trips, but yeah, one of the things that I noticed the most during by making or eating these dishes is that they literally don't have the same taste that they would have, and that if I would have eaten like in Japan, in Morocco, or in Vietnam. Living in another country, it's like a total experience. It's not just like eating, but it's communicating with locals, getting to know other culture, other tradition, other way of eating. It's a full immersion in someone's life. Yeah, it's a full experience that I can't wait to enjoy again. And that gets me really excited. And yeah, I mean, there are so many new things around the world, so many new things to try, so many new things to see, that if we stay like focused on our comfort zone, on our own bubble, to miss so much. And if we stay with the things that we know, with things that we are used to, we're going to miss out so much. So my invitation for you is just to eat local, to travel, and to enjoy the whole experience. So yeah, that's it for this video. And if you enjoy it, I would really appreciate if you could give a thumbs up, so put a like in the video, and also if you consider subscribe to my channel, because that will really help, and it will be really appreciated, and it will also be an incentive for me to continue making not only this kind of video, but also travel vlog and so much more. So yeah, thank you for watching. Also, I'm actually really curious to know which one of these was your favorite, or if you have favorite dishes from another part of the world. So yeah, what's your favorite dishes, or if you tried anything extravagant while you traveled. So yeah, let me know in the comment, I'm really curious to know.